Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Jake sat at his cluttered desk in the small apartment, the glow of his laptop screen illuminating his face in the dim evening light. His blonde hair, slightly tousled from a day of job hunting, fell over his forehead as he typed furiously into the online application for Platinum Dining, an upscale restaurant known for its elegant ambiance and high-paying positions. He needed this job desperately, rent was due, and his savings were dwindling. As he filled out the form, selecting his details with care, a sudden lag in the connection caused the page to refresh oddly. He didn't notice the glitch that flipped the gender field from male to female, assuming it was just a momentary hiccup. Submitting the application, he leaned back with a sigh of relief, hoping for a callback. The next morning, his phone buzzed with an email invitation for an interview that afternoon. Excitement surged through him as he prepared, choosing a simple button-up shirt and slacks, his blonde hair neatly combed. Arriving at Platinum Dining, he was struck by the restaurant's sophistication, crystal chandeliers casting soft light over polished marble floors, tables set with fine linens, and a faint aroma of gourmet cuisine wafting from the kitchen. The manager, a poised woman named Ms. Hargrove, greeted him warmly but with a puzzled glance at her clipboard. "Edith, we're so glad you could make it," she said, extending a hand. Jake froze, realizing the mix-up from the application glitch. His heart pounded. Correcting her now might ruin his chances, and he couldn't afford to walk away empty-handed. Swallowing his embarrassment, he decided to play along just for the interview. "Yes, that's me," he replied, his voice steady despite the internal turmoil. Hargrove led him to a back room where uniforms were stored. "As part of our team, you'll wear our signature attire," she explained, pulling out a sleek, silver-gray cocktail dress with black accents, a form-fitting satin piece that shimmered under the lights, paired with black stilettos. Jake's stomach twisted. This was meant for a woman, but the desperation for the job overrode his hesitation. "Try it on and we'll see how it fits," she said encouragingly. In the changing room, Jake slipped into the dress, the cool satin gliding over his skin in a way that felt utterly foreign, yet strangely intriguing. The black accents highlighted the elegant lines, and the stilettos added height, forcing him to adjust his posture. Looking in the mirror, he saw not Jake, but someone new, Edith, with blonde hair framing a face that could pass under the right circumstances. Too embarrassed to back out now, he emerged, and Ms. Hargrove nodded approvingly. "Perfect. You start tomorrow as a server. Welcome to the team, Edith." That first shift was a whirlwind of nerves and adaptation. Edith navigated the dining floor in the silver-gray dress, the satin fabric whispering with each step, the black stilettos clicking against the marble. Guests smiled at her polite greetings, and colleagues offered tips on balancing trays and remembering orders. The uniform, initially constricting, began to feel like a second skin as the hours passed. By the end of the night, exhausted but employed, Edith returned home, still in the dress, unwilling to shed the persona that had secured her livelihood. Over the following days, Edith immersed herself in the role. Mornings started with careful preparation, styling her blonde hair into soft waves that complemented the uniform, practicing a graceful walk in the stilettos to avoid wobbling. At the restaurant, she learned the menu intricacies, describing the seared scallops with citrus reduction, or the herb-crusted lamb with vivid detail to entice diners. Interactions with patrons grew more natural. A regular couple complimented her poise, mistaking her for a seasoned hostess. The silver-gray dress with its black accents became a symbol of her new routine, and she found herself lingering in it even after shifts, reluctant to change back. As weeks turned into a routine, Edith's confidence blossomed. She handled busy evenings with ease, weaving through crowded tables, her blonde hair catching the chandelier light as she delivered plates of exquisite dishes. Colleagues like Sarah, a fellow server, became friends, sharing laughs during breaks about quirky customer requests. One afternoon, after a particularly smooth lunch service, Edith caught her reflection in a mirrored wall, the satin dress hugging her form, the black stilettos elongating her silhouette. It no longer felt foreign. It felt right. That evening, on her way home, she stopped at a boutique, drawn to a charcoal dress hanging in the window. Purchasing it felt like an extension of her workday self, and soon she wore it casually, the elegant fabric a quiet affirmation. The transition deepened as Edith explored more outfits. A burgundy dress caught her eye next, its deep hue perfect for cooler evenings, and she paired it with similar black heels, mirroring the restaurant's style. Wearing it to a casual outing with Sarah, she received compliments that boosted her spirits. "You always look so put together," Sarah said over coffee, unaware of the origins. Edith smiled, feeling a sense of belonging. At work, the silver-gray uniform remained her anchor, but off-duty, she added a deep blue gown to her collection, its flowing lines ideal for weekend errands. Each purchase reinforced her commitment to this new identity, blending seamlessly into her daily life. Months progressed, and Edith's role at Platinum Dining evolved. She took on more responsibilities, training new hires in the art of service, while maintaining her impeccable appearance in the signature dress. Her blonde hair, now styled with professional flair, became a trademark among staff. One quiet afternoon, during a staff meeting, Ms. Hargrove praised her dedication, noting how Edith had become indispensable. The praise lingered, prompting Edith to reflect on her journey. The glitch that started it all now seemed like fate. After 6 months, a pivotal decision loomed. Edith consulted a doctor about hormone therapy, driven by a desire to align her outer self with the woman she had become. The process began subtly, with initial appointments and prescriptions that promised gradual changes. She continued her shifts without interruption, the silver-gray dress and black stilettos a constant, as her body responded to the treatment. Colleagues noticed her glowing confidence, attributing it to job satisfaction, while Edith cherished the internal harmony unfolding. As hormone therapy progressed, Edith's features softened, her blonde hair seeming even more vibrant against her evolving physique. She invested in designer dresses, ones she had once admired from afar, silk numbers in varying shades that elevated her presence. Promoted to hostess, she stood at the entrance each evening, welcoming guests with a warm smile, her attire a testament to her transformation. The restaurant buzzed with energy under her guidance, reservations filling up as word spread of the gracious woman in the elegant gowns. One busy Friday night, Edith glided through the dining room in a newly acquired charcoal designer dress, its fabric draping elegantly as she seated a group of executives. Their compliments on her style made her beam, reinforcing the path she had chosen. Later, during a lull, she chatted with Ms. Hargrove about expanding her role, ideas flowing freely. The evening unfolded smoothly, with laughter from tables and the clink of glasses creating a symphony of satisfaction. The following week brought new challenges. A high-profile event was booked, requiring Edith to coordinate with caterers and decorators. She arrived early, her burgundy dress chosen for its sophisticated appeal, black stilettos polished to perfection. As she oversaw the setup, ensuring every detail from floral arrangements to seating charts was flawless, a sense of pride swelled within her. Guests arrived in waves, their admiration evident as she greeted them personally, her blonde hair framing a face full of poise. In the midst of the event, Edith encountered a familiar face, a former acquaintance from her old life, who paused in recognition but said nothing, perhaps sensing the profound change. The moment passed without incident, but it stirred a quiet reflection on how far she had come. Back at her station, she continued hosting, her deep blue dress waiting in her wardrobe for the next occasion, a symbol of ongoing growth. As seasons shifted, Edith's wardrobe expanded further, each piece a step in her journey. She attended a fashion seminar on her day off, dressed in a sleek satin number reminiscent of her uniform, absorbing tips on styling that she applied to her work ensembles. At Platinum Dining, her role as hostess solidified. She mentored servers, sharing insights on guest interactions, all while maintaining her feminine presentation without falter. One crisp autumn morning, Edith prepared for a staff training session, selecting a designer dress in a subtle gray tone that echoed her original uniform. Her blonde hair was pulled into an elegant updo, complementing the black accents of her outfit. The session went well, with new employees hanging on her every word, inspired by her expertise. Afterward, Ms. Hargrove pulled her aside for a private conversation about potential management opportunities, hinting at further advancements. Evenings at the restaurant became highlights, with Edith in her element, welcoming celebrities and locals alike. A particular night stood out when a renowned chef visited, and she ensured his table was perfect, engaging in light conversation about culinary trends. Her confidence, bolstered by hormone therapy's effects, shone through, making her an integral part of the establishment's charm. Personal life intertwined with her professional one, Edith joined a book club, attending meetings in her charcoal dress, discussing literature with newfound friends who knew her only as the elegant woman she presented. These outings reinforced her identity, each step in stilettos an affirmation of permanence. Winter brought holiday rushes, and Edith thrived, coordinating festive decorations while donning a deep blue designer gown for the season's events. Guests raved about the ambiance, crediting her touch. One evening, as snow fell outside, she reflected on the glitch that had sparked it all, grateful for the unexpected turn. Spring arrived with renewal, and Edith's hormone therapy continued to shape her, enhancing her sense of self. She purchased more outfits, each one a celebration, a burgundy piece for casual dinners, a silver gray reminiscent of her start for sentimental shifts. As hostess, she handled reservations with finesse, her blonde hair a constant in the evolving narrative. A summer gala tested her skills. Dressed in an exquisite deep blue designer dress, she managed the influx of attendees, ensuring seamless service. Compliments flowed, and by night's end, exhaustion mixed with exhilaration. Hargrove's praise suggested bigger things ahead. Through it all, Edith remained steadfast in her presentation, the dresses and stilettos an unbreakable part of her. One quiet afternoon, while organizing the reservation book, she overheard a conversation about expansions. Perhaps a new location. The idea intrigued her, planting seeds for future possibilities. As another month passed, Edith attended a professional development workshop, her charcoal dress drawing admiring glances. Networking with industry peers, she shared stories of her rise, inspiring others. Returning to Platinum Dining, she implemented new ideas, enhancing guest experiences. A memorable shift involved hosting a wedding rehearsal dinner. In her burgundy designer dress, she orchestrated the evening flawlessly, toasts ringing out in celebration. The bride thanked her personally, noting her grace. Fall returned, and with it, reflections on her first year. Hormone therapy had brought profound changes, aligning body and spirit. Edith's wardrobe, now filled with elegant pieces, reflected her journey. At work, she trained a new hostess, passing on knowledge with patience. One evening, as she welcomed a group in her deep blue gown, a mysterious guest arrived, hinting at a business proposition that could change everything. His card, left on the podium, promised a meeting the next day, leaving Edith pondering what opportunities lay ahead as the night drew to a close. The following morning, Edith prepared meticulously, choosing her silver-gray designer dress for the occasion, her blonde hair styled elegantly. Arriving at the cafe for the meeting, she spotted the guest from the night before, his expression serious, yet intriguing. As they sat down, he began to outline a venture involving a partnership with Platinum Dining, but just as details emerged, a phone call interrupted, pulling him away abruptly with promises to reconvene. Edith left with questions swirling, the potential for a new chapter hanging in the balance. Back at the restaurant, she shared the encounter with Ms. Hargrove, who expressed enthusiasm but cautioned about details. The day unfolded with routine tasks, yet the mystery lingered. That evening, in her charcoal dress, Edith hosted with renewed vigor, her mind racing with possibilities. Weeks later, the guest returned, this time with proposals in hand. Seated in the quiet lounge after hours, Edith listened intently, her deep blue dress a symbol of her poise. The offer involved leading a new branch, a role that would demand her full expertise. As discussions deepened, a sudden revelation about the venture's scope emerged, hinting at international elements that could upend her comfortable life. Edith pondered the implications overnight, her burgundy dress hanging ready for the next shift. The decision weighed heavily, balancing loyalty to Platinum Dining with ambitious growth. At work, she confided in Sarah, who offered supportive advice, strengthening their bond. The proposal evolved through meetings, each one in a different elegant outfit from her collection. Her blonde hair, always impeccably styled, became a constant amid the flux. One session revealed challenges, relocation possibilities that stirred mixed emotions. As negotiations progressed, Edith's role as hostess continued uninterrupted, welcoming guests with the same warmth. A particularly hectic night tested her, but she managed flawlessly, earning accolades from all. Finally, a decisive meeting loomed. Dressed in her signature silver gray with black accents, Edith arrived prepared, the stilettos clicking with determination. The guest presented final terms, but just as she was about to respond, an unexpected twist arose. A competing offer from within Platinum Dining, forcing her to choose paths that could redefine her future. The room fell silent, the decision hanging like a veil over what came next. Hope you enjoyed the story so far. The rest will be available on Patreon.